Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday morning, the 5th day of April 2023, and I am Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm with 21 WFMJ in Youngstown. And if you're watching this video, theoretically, you are interested in what's going to happen today across eastern Ohio and western PA today and tonight, really. We have some more active weather heading our way, although this situation is a little bit different in the setup than the last couple of high wind events we've had on Saturdays in recent weeks. First things first, it's a busy morning out to our west. It's quiet here locally, but tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches extend from Chicago down to St. Louis, down into the Ozarks, and all the way down into northeastern Texas. A lot of lightning and thunder on the weather map this morning. It is a warm but quiet morning here locally. All right, the severe weather risk today has not really changed much since yesterday. If you paid attention to forecasts early in the week on Monday and Tuesday, we talked about this risk being kind of conditional for a lot of the afternoon. Not much may happen in the afternoon, and we'll show you the future radar in just a moment, but it is certainly an elevated risk. In fact, the term is enhanced risk. It's a level 3 on the 1 to 5 scale. That's that kind of tan color that encompasses most of Ohio. It's a level 2 slight risk of severe weather in southeast Ohio and a lot of western PA. We're not in an enhanced risk, a level 3, very often. It's an average of a couple or a few times per year. We were in one for a little while this past Saturday in the advance of our storms. So that's the general severe weather risk. The individual types of risks today, here's the tornado outlook. The tornadoes are going to be probably more likely or problematic to our west, closer to northwest Ohio, into parts of Indiana and Michigan. You see those dashed black lines within the yellow area? That's what we call a hatched area, and that means not only is the risk elevated for tornadoes in that yellow area, but that those dashed black lines means there's an increased chance of strong tornadoes, more than an E of 0, say. So that includes places like Detroit, Toledo, and Sandusky, and heading down towards Fort Wayne and Indianapolis as well. Our tornado risk here locally is somewhere in the 5 to 9% range. That means there's a 5 to 9% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any point within this area. And this threat would be mostly, I think, early this evening. Again, we'll get to the timing in just a moment. The wind threat encompasses most of Ohio and kind of 30 to 44% chance of a damaging wind gust of 58 miles per hour or higher. And these storms today will certainly be capable of producing some hail, particularly this afternoon and early this evening in northwest Ohio and up into Michigan, into Indiana, where you have those dashed black lines again, so significant hail could occur in those locations. But as storms continue pushing east, we do have 15 to 30% chance of some sizable hailstones within most of eastern Ohio and perhaps western PA as well. So that's kind of a breakdown of the individual risks. Now let's talk about the timing. We've been talking all week, and especially over the last 24 hours, about how this is a difficult forecast because the atmosphere will be what we call capped for a lot of the afternoon. A little layer of warm air aloft, preventing storms from getting going real efficiently this afternoon. I still think that'll be the case for a lot of the afternoon hours. It may change as we get into the evening, but for a lot of the afternoon, things will be pretty quiet. This is midday. It might be a stray shower. Any thunderstorm activity at midday is probably confined to areas around Lake Erie and certainly off to the north and northwest, but I would expect us to be largely dry in our television viewing area through about 3 to 4 o'clock, at least. And it's going to be warm, and it's going to be humid. Open up the windows today before the storms arrive anyway. Now, we have a couple of different model solutions here. Here's one model solution depicting a pretty organized line of nasty-looking showers and storms making inroads towards sunset this evening. So here's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. If this were to verify, we would have, we'd have similar weather throughout most of our area. A line of pretty intense showers and storms pushing through right around sunset, say roughly 7 o'clock or so. But that's just one model solution. There are other high-resolution models that don't look quite like that. For instance, here's what we call the NAM model, the North American model. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You'll notice it does not have that big, beefy, bowing line of intense thunderstorms. It kind of, does not have a whole lot in our area. And it kind of depicts things falling apart a little bit. Coming east, it's also a little bit later in its depiction of potential thunderstorms later in the evening. So The high resolution models that are at our disposal are still not in great agreement as to the nature of the threat as we go into the evening. I think any thunderstorm that does impact the area can be strong or severe. The question remains, will there be an organized area of storms coming through, or is it very scattered in nature and maybe some of us don't pick up much nasty weather at all early this evening? This remains to be seen. It's a day to stay weather aware just in case, though, that more intense solution works out. You want to be ready for it. Be prepared for possible power outages. And again, I'm focusing mostly on early evening. I would say the main window is probably something like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., something like that. Otherwise, the story, of course, is the warmth today. It is April the 5th, and we're going to touch 80 degrees today. Everywhere where you see a box surrounding the numbers here, those are where record highs are expected. Our record high is 79 today. We should best that by at least a degree. Same idea, New Philly, Wheeling, Pittsburgh, Morgantown. It's going to be warm everywhere today. And this is the earliest 80-degree temperature, if this verifies, the earliest 80-degree temperature in the spring season since 2012, when we had one in March. Very warm March back in 2012. But we haven't had one this early since then. We had one on April 7th, I believe, a couple of years ago. But April 5th is pretty early for an 80-degree temperature, and it would be a record. So a lot to sort out weather-wise today. We're going to do frequent updates, of course, online and on social media. And you can look for streaming coverage from us if we do have organized severe weather heading our way this evening on all my social media outlets, wfmj.com/weather, and the Storm Tracker 21 app.